Afternoon, Year 6, and welcome to your history lesson. So this lesson, it will be the same lesson this week and next week, so we'll be carrying it on next week. Now the key question in this lesson is what's in a name, and it is still part of our A Child's War topic, so we're still looking at World War II. Okay, so Green Group, you're going to be able to collect evidence to show the impact on local communities. And to do this, you're going to use photos and other images as your evidence and create a poster type display to show the impact. You could also add some emotions to help understand the photos. So you might put things like devastating or upset or angry or anything else that might help us to build up that picture of what it was like in the local communities during World War II. Blue Group, you are going to organise evidence to suggest the impact of war on local communities. So once you've got your evidence, okay, you're going to order them in terms of what you think was the most important piece of evidence that tells you the most. Maybe it's the most reliable, maybe it's got the most information on, and you can consider which ones show the greatest impact the war had on the communities, and you can write why in a brief paragraph. And then Red Group, you are going to interpret evidence to generate an understanding of the impact of war on local communities. So you're doing a similar task to Blue, okay? You're going to order your evidence in terms of importance. You're going to consider which ones show the greatest impact the war had on the communities and why. And then you're going to write a paragraph for each piece of evidence. So whereas Blue Group are writing a summary paragraph, you're writing a paragraph for each group of evidence, each piece. If you'd like to write a summary at the end as well, that would be great, but you have to write a paragraph for each piece of evidence, okay? Now the task is asking for you to look at local communities. The best place to look at would be Stanley, your own local community. I know parents might be able to help with this, grandparents you might be able to ring to ask them about it. You can even look at the War Memorial in Southmore and look at how many names are on the memorial. You can use the census to research names and what kind of jobs did the people do and how was that helpful to the war. When we say it was precious to the war, how did that help us win? Okay, and how could that have changed life in Stanley? Why is life in Stanley the way it is now? Does it have something to do with World War II? Would this have had a big impact on everyday life? Think about the restrictions that they put in during the World War II. Now a census is a government kind of record of who is in and out of the country, and we need to think about what would that be used for? Why would the government need this? Well, how would it be useful? All right, and we need to also think about the primary and secondary sources. Now remember, the census would be a primary source because it was used at that time. It was present at the time that the World War was going on. So if it was a photograph of the war, it would be a primary source because it's a photo of that war happening. If it was a drawing, it's based on what we know, so it would be a secondary. It wasn't produced at the time of the war. Okay. There's some useful websites that I looked. All I typed in was World War II in Stanley, County Durham, and these are the websites that I came up with. They are also on a link in your resources section as well. But have a say. Really look for the photographs. Really look at the war memorial. Spend the time doing the research, and it'll make your presentation or your end task much easier, Year 6.